And the more you seek Allah's guidance and the purer your heart, bi'idhnillah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah will keep you safe from this fitan. It'll keep you safe from this ignorance and people who are extreme on either of the two sides. And we say the more knowledge of the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ that you understand, the older, the better, the less you will be fooled. As we took some of these hadith tonight. Many issues, people they speak about these issues. I studied in Sunan Abi Dawud, the Prophet ﷺ said this and he said that. It can't be right. Even though he's more knowledgeable than me. But this is a foundation that I have. Everybody saying this is something that's a foundation. So first and foremost, seeking Allah's guidance. Secondly, is using your common sense. Thirdly, the Prophet says, "Istafti qalbak when aftaka nasu waftawka." Okay, maqal alayhi salatu wassalam. He says, seek the fatwa from your heart. Seek the fatwa from your insides, your instincts. Even if fulan and fulan say this and they say that. Inna al-halal bayyin wa al-haram bayyin. The lawful is clear, the unlawful is clear. Yani, for those who have guidance, those who use common sense, and those who know basics of the deen. So my advice for the shabab, for the youth, is to learn as much as they can. And to make what they learn based off of the traditional, classical sources of the ulama. The ulama of the past, as we always say. And it doesn't mean no disrespect to the ulama of today. It doesn't mean that the ulama of today have no benefit in them. It doesn't mean that they have no khair with them. That's not what it means. But we encourage you to go back to the early traditional days when the Muslims were strong and powerful. When the Muslims were not influenced by what their enemies said. When the fatwa was a fatwa. And it wasn't based off of being apologetic. It wasn't based off of what the West is going to say. It wasn't based off of this regime and this government and this political issue. But the fatwa was for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's face. This is the advice that we give to the shabab. Is for them to devote themselves to knowledge, to acting upon that knowledge, and to staying busy in that which is beneficial. Whether it's deen or whether it is dunya. And most importantly, last but not least, is to read history. You have to read the history. What's happening today happened before. What happened with this sheikh, it happened 5 years ago. What happened with this Chapter of Ilm, it happened before. What happened in this country, it happened before. What the kuffar said about Islam, they said the thing about Islam 10, 20 years ago. But we don't read, we don't study. Not Islam, just history. The more you read history, the less you can be tricked and deceived. And the less you read history, the stupider you are, if that's even a word, stupider. You'll be more foolish. Everybody understand this? So this is my advice to the shabab, is to read these classical, traditional sources and to seek the advice from those whom they trust and those who seem to be upon khair. Wallahu ta'ala alam. That's in brief. We've done whole lectures on this. Wallahu ta'ala alam. Any other questions before we start, Ikhwan? Any other questions? Na'am, tafadhal.
If I heard you clearly, you say it's permissible to learn from other scholars of literature. Am I clear?
Right. Permissible to learn from other scholars?
From other scholars.
Other scriptures? Right. We said in the lecture that it's permissible for a person to narrate things from the previous nations. The permissibility of narrating things from the previous nations. That's what we said. As far as learning things from other scholars, then we say a Muslim, whether he's a student of knowledge or a layman, he should take the benefit wherever he finds the benefit. He should take the benefit wherever he finds it. As long as the benefit is pure and clean. As far as if the benefit is tainted, if the spoonful of honey has cyanide in it, we say avoid the entire spoonful of honey. As far as someone who can discern, who can distinguish, who can read and select, no, that's not right, but that is right. The Chapter of Ilm, yani who's mutamayyiz, he can take from whoever he wants to take from, because he can discern. You may explain how that. Just like similarity we mentioned last night, a young child. If you gave a young child, you went to feed your son some fish, for example. What type of fish would you give your son? Does it mean anything, the child's age? And what type of fish? A young toddler who's barely eating table food, would you give him an entire fish with skin and bone and eyes and head? You would. You would give the young child a piece of what? Filet, where he can grab it and mush it up and put it in his face. Everything on the plate is good and wholesome for the child to eat. You wouldn't give the child an entire piece of fish. As far as a child who's older, who can know this is a bone, take that bone out, and this is a good piece of fish right there. Everybody understand this? Then you can give him and he can eat whatever he or she wants to eat. So this similarity is that of the Chapter of Ilm. The student of knowledge who's basic, who doesn't know too much, we say only take from the clear, trustworthy sources. Clear, trustworthy sources. Ilm, adab, piety, aqidah, clear, trustworthy sources that are simple, basic, and brief. As for student knowledge who's advanced, who's learned more, who's studied more, who has more techniques that he's learned and mastered, then he can dip and he can dive into different sciences, different books, different people. And this has been spoken on in detail of the ulama of the past. So no one can come and say in 2015, it is absolutely haram to take from different scholars. It is absolutely haram to take from someone who is of innovation. You can't say that. Because the ulama of the Salaf, they spoke with it in detail. And no one can come and say that it's absolutely permissible to take from whoever you want to take from. And learn from quote-unquote different scholars. Because the ulama of the past, they spoke on that in detail. It depends on the person. It depends on the type of knowledge that you're seeking. And it depends on what is the level of different scholars. A mistake in fiqh is not like a mistake in something else. An error of ijtihad is not like a mistake of ijma'. In other words, the jahil, the ignorant person, is one who wishes to hide the details from the people. Because he's so ignorant, he doesn't want to think, or he can't think, so he just makes it absolute. Black or white, that's it. And that's incorrect. A person of knowledge, he says there's black, there's white, and there's gray. There's black, there's white, and then there's gray. You can't just say just two colors. That's haram, ya akhi, la yajuz. It's impermissible for you to deceive and lie to the people like this. In issues of detail, we give detail. Issues of ijma', we say there's ijma'. Issues of ijtihad, we say it's mahal ijtihad. You have to follow what you feel is best. So this is in brief, yani, taken from different scholars or different people, or someone who made a mistake, or two or three or four. Someone innovation, go back to what the ulama of the past said. And they spoke on these issues in detail. But we today, we don't read. We read the book of the 21st century, and we don't read what the ulama of the 3rd, and 2nd, and 4th century said. So what we mean when we say following the Salaf, understanding the understanding of the Salaf, taking their way, is not like how many people make it seem just in Aqidah. Most people, whenever they talk about Salaf, the Salaf as-Salih, 9 out of 10, it's just Aqidah, that's it. The Aqidah of the Salaf. That's it, and that's wrong. What we mean by understanding the deen as the Salaf understood it, and hadith, and fiqh, and tafsir, and everything else. We go back to the early, ancient, traditional understanding, not just in aqidah. How do we study hadith science? How do we study these books, Sunan Abi Dawud? Is it permissible to read a da'if hadith? Is it permissible to benefit from a da'if hadith? Is a hadith da'if totally rejected? Some of the ulama of today, they say things like this. They say things like this, and I'm not talking about any specific. There's no disrespect to nobody, but this is a reality. This is the Sahih version, this is the Da'if version. Anything that's Da'if is useless, is batil, thrown out. That is not the way of the ulama of hadith of the past. That's not how they dealt with the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. Not Imam Ahmad, or Ibn Qattan, or Ibn Mahdi, the kibar ulama of hadith. That's not what they did. So therefore, me as a student of knowledge, what should be my position? What a scholar says in the 21st century, or what a scholar said in the 2nd and the 3rd century? There lies no doubt. Following the who? Salaf. This is one of the big problems that we suffer from. Wallahu ta'ala alam.